GS1 is a global no-profit organization dealing with standards related to supply chain. It has branches in 112 countries, representing approximately 1.2 million companies worldwide, which are the standard end users. In particular, these companies have a long time experience in using UNCEFACT standards. GS1 has been involved since 1986 in UNCEFACT, contributing to the development of these standards to the benefit of its companies. Andres Grangard, Director of GS1's Electronic Communication Department and longtime UNCEFACT expert since 1992, will describe some of the success stories in standards implementation of companies represented by GS1. Mr. Grangard, which UNCEFACT standards are the most implemented by companies represented by GS1?
Well, firstly, GS1 uses most of the XML-based and e-business standards from CEFACT, either directly as EDIFACT or XML, or we include UNEC recommendation and other codes in our GS1 standards. And we also use specifications as a basis for our own development. The biggest standard for us is still clearly the UN EDIFACT standard.
Mr. Grangard, how many companies are we talking about?
Well, it's difficult to give you an exact number because our member companies do the implementation and they don't really need to ask for permission. But we do make a survey each year, and that indicates that the number of UN EDIFACT user companies are around 120,000 companies. So that's clearly the biggest. XML, either be that the GS1 XML based on CEFACT standard or the UN XML, we are in about 20 to 25,000 companies.
Which are the future trends in standards implementation? Which are the requirements coming from the various sectors, and how is UNCEFACT responding to these needs?
Right. Firstly, an interesting trend, I think, is that UN EDIFACT, which is a very old standard, has survived the internet paradigm better than anyone thought. So that actually still is showing a net growth of up to 10% each year. So the future, as I see it generally, is that for the companies that's using this, or the sectors using this standard, they will continue to do so and will continue to grow. The new standards such as XML, that's really for sectors and areas around the world that has not adopted the old EDI standards. So it will not be in replacement by XML to EDIFACT, it will be complementary.
Can you give us some examples of UNCEFACT standards implementation?
Sure. We clearly engaged in this together with our user companies for economic reasons for the beginning. So it was to drive down costs in the supply chain. That was the reason. We now see that the effects of the UNCEFACT standard goes way beyond that. We are doing important work in traceability, for example. So the UNCEFACT standards are fundamental in food safety and the well-being of people. We are engaging in healthcare, where patient safety is being critically improved using UNCEFACT standard, and sustainability is a new area we're working in. So again, standards is not only an economic question, it's also a social question today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.